Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, desolators, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks, untouchables. I'm Useful Idiot. Welcome. And let's go to India. Here's another story really wild story that happened during this election cycle, so it didn't really quite get the legs or the drama that it normally would. But on November 8th, the Prime Minister Modi of India declared India's two largest denomination notes, the 1,000 and the 500 rupee bills, were now worthless and would have to be replaced by newly designed bills. And so these are for denominations of basically $14.50 and $7.30. So two of the most widely used notes in the Indian economy. And the Indian economy, one of the reasons why this is so dramatic is because 86% of India is a cash economy and 90% of retail transactions are cash, so quite a bit different from countries in the rest of the world, certainly in the Western world, where you have all this credit and we're getting way away from cash transactions. But for a country that size of that population, certainly with a large rural and poor populations, to be told that overnight certain large bills are worthless and would have to be exchanged created a lot of panic, and it did. There's total chaos, bank runs and people coming into the city to exchange their notes, and a lot of people weren't even able to find out, of course, as you would imagine, in a country that size and so many rural poor people who have the cash stashed away. So ATMs emptied out really quick, and just madness. But of course, over the couple of days since this has been announced, well, it's been about a week now, over a week. It's settled down quite a bit. So it's not necessarily a story anymore. 40% of people are too poor to access the banking system. And so when you look at the underpinnings, that's what gets interesting. The fact that the government could overnight cause this cash crisis and announce the elimination of these bills, that's what I think the story is, to see what kind of powers the government has when they feel it's necessary to make a currency move like this. And that's what I think the real story is here. And what they're talking about is that it was done to flush out corruption in government and business. And in some ways, it probably could flush out some low-level corruption in government and business. But I would imagine the very rich will still find ways to work around it. And everything I've read says that, of course, they already are working around it. But the country is very, very notable for massive levels of corruption in government and business. And I have to laugh. It sounds like that's the model for the world. I don't know what they're worried about in India. They're doing what everybody else is doing, but apparently it's actually worse there, whatever that means. But 22 billion currency notes are affected, so that's the scale of this. And limits on how much could be exchanged at a time would cause another layer of panic. And 40% of the people are too poor to access the banking system, like I mentioned earlier, and therefore that's one of the reasons why they want to get people to exchange these bills, and then they have requirements that a certain amount has to go into a banking system, because they need to track this. They want to find if people get into the banking system, then they can track this. And of course, the real bottom line is it'll boost tax revenues and get more people into bank accounts, and they can boost tax revenues. So just like all the other governments and countries in the world, if they can find a way to sniff out making some money, they'll do it. And so pretty drastic move to do that. But we'll see if tax revenues do indeed get boosted. But like I say, the story for now is over, although there's going to be continued ripples, and it's fascinating to watch. But overall, just amazing to see what the government is capable of doing, and what the results of monkeying with your currency in the country can do, especially on an epic scale like this in a country like India, one of the largest populations and economies in the world. I'm a Useful Idiot. Don't you be one too.